We are just hours away from the announcement for the England squad, and we are joined by a man who's been in a squad or two for these big tournaments. There he is, it's David Seaman with some world-class memorabilia behind you. Great to see you, David. We will start with the goalkeepers. That won't surprise you. The general feeling is Pickford will remain number one, and usually Southgate's gone with Pope and Ramsdale as the backups. Do you agree with that, or is there a case for Dean Henderson?
Only a small case for Dean Henderson, if I'm honest. Obviously, Nick's done really well. He was a little bit found out with his feet again in the last couple of games, but I think it's obviously going to be Jordan, Aaron, and then Nick. That's going to be the three for me. You can't. And Jordan is still the number one by far. He's never let England down. He's done really well for England, if I'm honest. And even towards the end of last season, he had a massive end of season with Everton and produced some massive big saves to keep them into the Premier League. And he's still playing well. So there's no doubt that Jordan's going to be the number one.
As for Henderson, and this is in no way at all his fault, but do you think, looking back, it may have been a mistake to stay at Manchester United last season? Because, of course, who knows what he was promised, but David De Gea remained number one. Dean Henderson didn't play. He's now playing again and impressing, but a little bit too late.
Yeah, but not too late for good. It's just that exactly what you said, Tom. It's that, he didn't play at all last season. Whether he was told that he might get a chance, but with David De Gea, you've got a goalkeeper there that once he finds his form, he's always going to be picked. And that's what happened last season, is that Dean Henderson, he fell behind in the pecking order. Just the fact that he wasn't playing for anybody. He was playing in the odd cup game, and then Aaron obviously had a great season for Arsenal, and Nick was, he had a good season at Burnley, but obviously they got relegated. But that's still playing in pressure games, so it's good experience for him. And now he's gone to Newcastle, and he's doing really well. Are we completely sure who's the number two? I am, but I don't think everybody else is.
Yeah, because of course, but I mean, Pope had that. He made that one mistake last time out. Do you think that Ramsdale is, without even playing, raised up to number two from three just because of that?
Yeah, I think so. But the only problem with Aaron, I think he's only got two caps. So that's a little bit of a worry. And hopefully, fingers crossed that Jordan doesn't get injured. Aaron to go into a World Cup game with only two games experience is a tough ask. Like you said, we saw what happened with Nick, but he's still a really good goalkeeper. And what I look for in goalkeepers is how they bounce back after making a mistake. And he's certainly bounced back with Newcastle.
A big issue outfield is players who have been, they've had a lack of game time for one reason or another, sometimes out of form, sometimes because of injury. I'm thinking Calvin Phillips, I'm thinking Kyle Walker, Harry Maguire as well. What are your thoughts on that? Does the manager say, right, well, you're my boys, I'm picking you? Or do they say, I'm sorry, you've not played enough?
Well, Gareth always said that he'd pick players on form. But did he mean on form with England, or did he mean on form with their clubs? On form with England, when you look at those three players, they get picked in the squad all day long. And for me, they do anyway, because of what they've done for England. They've shown that they can play in big tournaments, they can produce on that stage. And trust me, it's, mentally, that's really tough. So it's, for me, they get in, so long as they're fully fit, then that's the main thing. Taking players that aren't fully fit and then you're hoping they're going to be fit is a gamble. We saw that with David Beckham that time. In Japan, that was tough. And but depending on the player, but the three you've just mentioned, for me, they go in the squad easy.
Let's go back to 2002 with David Beckham, because you've just brought that up. He had that famous metatarsal injury, and I know these players aren't at the level of David Beckham, all right, and he was captain as well, wasn't he? Now, what was it like for you and the rest of the squad, thinking, we don't know if he's going to be fit or not, and if he was in training and you thought, oh, he's wincing a little bit? What was it like for all of you?
No, we couldn't wait for him to get back, because we knew what Bex offered to the team. He was brilliant. Obviously, he was brilliant at set pieces, but he was a leader as well. And we were just like so happy when he declared himself fit. And players know, if you go back and you're not quite ready, and especially with the metatarsal, you're hitting that every day with shooting and crossing and all that, especially for Bex. He knew as soon as he was pain free, he knew he was going to be fit. So for the players, it was just a case of when. And obviously, when you're in the camp of a World Cup, you're seeing each other every day, so you're getting updates all the time. Whereas this is different because the players have got a week to recover. If they get any knocks this weekend, then they're in trouble. Because they might not make that first game. Because it's such a short turnover. That's what's so different about this World Cup is that they've hardly got any time to recover from injuries.